Alright, number 8. Remember, just keep adding tabs and renaming them. So this is part number 8. This guy right here, it's a tall part. Much taller than the other ones that we've been working with. So I'm going to start with drawing the base. And I'm going to do that on this top surface right here. So I'm going to hit Sketch and let it put my sketch plane on. And the software's been off for a little bit. I haven't been working with it for an hour, so I might have to log back in. Let's see. If this goes too long, I'll just pause this. Okay, so it did take a little while to come up. So I'm going to start my sketch plane right there on that top surface. I'm going to right click and say View Normal To. And this is going to be a rectangle here. So I'm going to start my rectangle tool, just like I always do, seems like. And let's see. I'm going to get this. The base here is 3 inches by 4. So I'm going to start with here. I'm going to make that the 3. And then the other one the 4. And if I green check mark this and right click and isometric, what do I end up with? Let's turn that one off and that one off and that one. And actually I want it to be the other way. So I'm just going to double click on the sketch here. I'm going to change this one to 4. And this guy here to 3. Okay, and green check mark. Alright, that's the way I want that to go. Now, I'm going to extrude this up, and I'm going to come up the full thickness of the thing, and the full thickness is this distance right here, which is 1 inch. So I've got 1 inch, green check mark. Okay, now the front corner of this, I'm going to close that out. I don't have to save that. The front corner of this, the 2 front corners, have a fillet on them. So I'm going to use my fillet tool, and the radius is a 1/2 inch, so 0.5. And I'm going to click on that line there, and I can just barely catch that line there. Green check mark, and that sets up the beginning of our part. Now, a couple of things to do first. The first thing I can do is I can put the hole in the base. So I'm going to sketch. I'm going to click on that. When I say the hole in the base, I mean this guy right here. It's a diameter of 1. So I can right click, say View Normal To. I'm going to use my hole tool, so I'm going to put in the point, dimension from there to there, and that's going to be halfway. So the thing is 2 inches, and then from here to here, and that is back. How far is that back? Half. That's back 1. So over here on this, I should type 1. Okay, that locates my hole. Right click. Uh-oh, I think I goofed that up. What did I do? I'm going to restore that. There we go. I somehow made a mistake there. Did you see that there was a message right across here that said restore? So I restored my sketch. Okay. Hole tool right there. And this is going to be a simple hole. It's going to go through, and the diameter is going to be 1 inch. So I'm going to select this hole, the sketch point to make the hole on, and green check mark. Okay, so we're getting there. Now we got to start to build this tower thing, and this is going to be a little bit of an experiment because I'm not sure exactly what I want to do to create this, but I do know that I am going to put a sketch on this back surface and right click and say View Normal To. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit here for this because this thing is tall. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my rectangle. I'm going to come up this way, and there's been some, I've had to really look at this, and this is the length of this, the height of this, I think is 3.5 inches. And then the width, I do know, the width is 2 inches. And the distance from this edge here to this guy over here, that is going to be 1 inch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top. Okay, and I'm going to put a circle on here. It comes out like this. And then I'm going to check mark this because I think I'm done. And then I'll right click and say isometric. And this all gets pulled forwards a total of, let's see, it's going to come forwards I believe it comes forwards 2 inches. Well, we'll do 2. So I'm going to extrude this. Oh no, it's going to come forwards 1 inch. So, and I need one more hole in here too in the sketch. So I'm going to re-edit the sketch and right click and view normal too. Okay. I'm going to put one more hole in here. That's this hole right here in the middle. And that is a diameter of 1. Okay. Now I think that what I really want to do is I want to delete that line out. And I'll have to put in a dimension again for this, going from here to here. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Alright. So, green check mark. Right click. Isometric. Now I'm going to pull all of these two things out 1 inch. So, extrude this and this. And I'm going to flip the direction that it's going, and I'm going to come out 1 inch. Okay. Now I forgot something there, so I got to edit this part. I forgot that I needed to click where it said the word add. Did you see how when I just had this on, it's a different color? That makes this piece a different piece than this, and I want these two things to be the same, so I have to hit add. And then when I green check mark this, now that is one continuous piece. Okay, so now what I've done is I've created this post to this edge right here, to this face. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sketch on this face, and then I'm going to redraw those two circles and extrude those out. So my sketch plane is going to go right on this surface. I'm going to, just for normalcy's sake, I guess, extrude that. So I'm going to go from the center here, and you see the little square. That means that I'm right on the center of this thing. And, well, you know what? I'm going to do something here too. I'm going to get out what's called the Use tool. And that's this guy right here. Use allows me to take existing geometry like that, and to actually have them on my sketch. So, circle, I come from right here out to here, and now I'm going to right click and, oops, I'll hit the green check mark first. Okay, right click and say isometric, and I'm going to extrude that out, and that's going to come out another inch. So there is our part. Now I've got a couple more things to do, and one of them is I need to put a fillet on this line right here and the same one on the opposite side. So the fillet is going to be, I think it needs to be 1 inch. So I'm going to do a fillet of 1 inch. And I'm going to click on that line. Yep, that looks pretty good. I'll spin this around. And I think that looks pretty good too. Green check mark. And then let's go and look at this isometrically. And what do you think? I think it looks pretty good, actually. That looks pretty good. So that's the part. So you need to do, this is number 8. There you go.